Hello and welcome to Business Today Television. I am Karishma Asoodani and joining me is Rohit Mathur, who's the Chief Executive Officer of Heritage Aviation Pvt Ltd. Rohit, thank you for joining us on this conversation on Business Today.
Thank you, Karishma.
Rohit, I'm going to start off by asking you, as you see, the election season is about to finish and the results will be on June 4th. How has this impacted the charter business in India?
Well, general elections is a period which is for the helicopter industry. We all wait for this time because it comes once in 5 years, and obviously the entire industry is anticipates good business during this period because there's huge amount of helicopter requirement, and almost all the helicopters which are there or available for hiring gets deployed. So whichever helicopter was available was hired by the parties and everyone. In fact, because the duration of the election was very long this time, so every helicopter company was did good business and did a lot of flying in this election season.
Right. You did mention about every helicopter business company that made good business. I'm sure that keeping in mind that demand was higher this election season because it was a longer election season with 7 phases. Did the companies try and hike the prices of these charters in order to, of course, take in more profits?
Well, always the election flying rates are a little higher than what the normal flying rates are. And as in every general election, normally in the state elections, because the elections are happening only in one state or two states or four states, five states, so there are enough helicopters to meet the demand. But for the general elections, because entire country is going through elections, so there is a demand supply gap, and due to which obviously the prices are higher. And I think the average, I think 40 to 50% premium people have charged over the normal hiring rates. Yeah.
Okay, what is usually a normal rate like? I mean, not during the election season.
So it is different for different type of helicopters. So just for example, you hire a taxi. So a Mercedes will have a different rate. A Innova Crista will have a different rate, and a Maruti Ertiga will have a different rate. So it is just like that. So the type of helicopter, so for a normal light multi-engine helicopter, which is otherwise 2.75 lakhs per hour, has gone for around 4 lakh rupees an hour in the elections, 4 to 4.5 lakh rupees an hour in the elections.
Okay. And when it comes to the single engine, then also the prices differ as per what?
Yes, single engines, normally the market price is around 1.3 to 1.5 lakh rupees an hour. Of course, now it has gone further up. Most of the single engines have gone for around 2 lakh rupees an hour. So there was about 25-30% premium on the single engines and around 40 to 50% premium on the multi engines. Twin engine helicopters were more in demand because all these senior political leaders who are ministers or who are ex-ministers or ex-chief ministers, they all want to travel in twin engine helicopters because that is considered more safe. So the demand for twin engine helicopters was higher as compared to single engine helicopters.
How many people can it accommodate?
So most of the helicopters which are available, the medium-sized or the light helicopters which are available are all 5 to 6 seater helicopters. There are some which are little higher capacity, which are up to 7 to 8 persons. But normally, all these politicians, when they fly, they don't, they never fly with full load. They just fly with, 4 or 5 persons maximum. So generally, it is 4 to 6 seater helicopters, 4 to 6 persons traveling in a helicopter.
Okay. And just to get some information out, how many charters do we have in India?
So what do you mean by charters?
I mean, how many helicopters are available in India? Just an approximate number.
I may not be having the exact number, but what we have been discussing is that the number of helicopters in civil market in India is around 230 to 250. And out of that, I think more than 100 helicopters are deployed with government contracts, private contracts. They are flying in offshore for oil companies, for ONGC. So the helicopters available for hiring are around 100 in the country, 100, 120 are what is available. This includes single engine, twin engine, light, medium, heavy, everything all put together. And I think around 80 to 90 helicopters must have been hired in this election. This is what my guess is.
Okay, almost close to 80 to 90%.
Yes, yes. I need to do a detailed, analysis operator by operator. So then we can arrive at a more clear number. But this is approximately the number.
Okay. Rohit, just to get some analysis, the number is high every time, right? I mean, each election year, the demand is pretty high, or has it increased from, term to term?
Obviously, you see the economic levels keep changing. The 2019 election was a different election. 2014 election must have been a different election. So earlier, there were less twin engine helicopters in the market. Even senior leaders used to hire, single engine helicopters. I remember in 2009 elections, there were very few twin engine helicopters which were available for hiring. So now there are more twin engine helicopters available. So people prefer to hire twin engine helicopters. And so, of course, numbers have gone high. But again, there's not too much substantial change as compared to the previous election. Maybe 5-10% higher must have been, but I don't have the correct numbers of last election. Also, we don't remember last election how many helicopters were hired. But again, as I can, offhand, if I can recollect, I don't think there must have been too much of a difference. Maybe 10%, marginal difference of 10%.
Okay. One last question, Rohit, and this is why is there not this increased fandom for private chartered planes during elections? Why is that it's preferred to take choppers?
So charter planes are also used by more all political parties, because the plane have got one. Charter planes are used to travel long distance flights. Suppose a political leader has to travel from Delhi to Hubli. Now he has to change 2-3 flights to reach Hubli. So they use, charter plane has got a different utility. A helicopter can't fly Delhi to Hubli. It will take 2 days to fly Delhi to Hubli. So what they do is that from Delhi to Hubli, they use a charter plane, and then from Hubli to say interior places of Karnataka where they want to go, villages or towns where they want to go for campaigning, they use helicopters. So both charter planes and helicopters were used extensively, and both have got different utilities. So planes can only land at airports, whereas helicopter can land anywhere. So that is the advantage of helicopters. So both were used, not that charter planes were not used. A lot of charter planes were also used in the elections.
Okay, got it. Thank you so much, Rohit, for talking to us and sharing this information.
Thank you. Thank you.
If you like the video, do like, comment, share and subscribe.